Hey y'all, Little Drummer Boy here, and tonight on Trucker Tales, I want to talk about Union City, New Jersey residential neighborhood. All right, y'all. Last year, actually it was December of 2017. I was driving for Gaines Motor Lines out of Hickory, North Carolina, established 1947 by World War II veteran Forrest Gaines, who was on an aircraft carrier in the Navy in World War II. And anyway, it was my first trip with them, uh, and I like that there was no on the job training. It's just if you were experienced, they just put you right in the truck and you go on your own. You don't follow nobody or anything. I like that part of Gaines. They knew I had experience and stuck me in a truck just like I'd driven for them for 20 years. So it was an old beater Freightliner Columbia to start out with. Once I ran a few trips and they saw I wasn't going to tear up anything in New York traffic, they put me in a new Penske Volvo lease truck. And no, wait, they put me in a new international Volvo, international lease truck. And then the windows got broken out of that one in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Just a lovely place. And then they put me in a Volvo until they got the windows fixed on it. But I'm chasing rabbits. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, my first trip with Gaines, I was hauling scrap metal from Granite Falls, North Carolina to Jersey City, New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from Manhattan. You can't get any closer to Manhattan when you're in New Jersey than Jersey City. So I had a good old time. I hadn't been into Jersey City before. I had delivered in Bayonne before for Builders Transports back 23 years ago. And I had been in Newark before, but never down in Jersey City. I had to. You get down there, there's like a big wall mural of David Bowie. I mean, up the side of this like tower, which is pretty wild. And then you get to the Lincoln Tunnel and the Holland Tunnel, and trucks can't go through there. So I had to turn right or left and turn left. Got lost a few times, and then had a good old time trying to get under this. There was a low railroad bridge, keeping me, and I was trying to figure out how do I navigate this low railroad bridge. It was like 13.6 even or something like that. Finally, a local driver from the area, he told me, and it was freezing cold that day, sunny but real cold. It was in December, and he's like, you can make it under that bridge. He said, we do all the time. And so I went under that bridge, and I went under so slow, making sure I wasn't going to hit. I had the door open and my head out like this, looking up. I think my sunglasses fell off, and I had to pop the air valve and get out and get the sunglasses out of the street. Thank God they didn't break. Not that they're expensive, but they were like the only ones I had. And so made it under that bridge, and got to American Recycling in Jersey City, New Jersey. And you could see the Freedom Tower from this place. It's how close you are to Manhattan. And the Empire State Building. This place was so tight. Now, I've been in some tight joints before delivering, because a lot of places you go, there may be mills built in the 20s, barely made for a 40 pup trailer, much less a 53 footer. So some of those places, as y'all truckers know, are real fun to get into. Anyway, this place is so tight though, and it is a recycle place. There was like sales papers laying all over the place. The ground was just covered in like sales papers, because they recycle all kind of stuff there. And but it's so tight you can't get into the dock. You actually have to drop your trailer, and then they have the yard jockey back it into the dock, and then he brings it out, and you hook up and go. So after I got my scrap metal unloaded, I think 45,000 pounds of scrap metal at American Recycle in Jersey City, New Jersey. This Swift driver, now I should have known better than listen to a daggum Swift driver, but sorry, y'all Swift drivers, but he was a local, and he told me how to get back on the Jersey Turnpike. And because he told me, he said, you didn't hit that railroad trestle because you were loaded. He said, now that you're unloaded, it's going to be higher, and you're probably going to hit unloaded. And that sounded about right to me. I thought, well, that makes sense. I mean, hauling containers down in Savannah, and Charleston, even the big ships sit way lower when they're loaded. And so I followed his advice, but I made a wrong turn somewhere. I got up in Union City, New Jersey, which is north of Jersey City. And Union City, beautiful place and very ritzy because it's beautiful. You've got it's up on a bluff, up on a cliff overlooking the Hudson River. So, I stopped at one point where there was a pull off and an overlook, and I made a picture of Manhattan and like Trump Tower, because Midtown Manhattan was right across the river there. And it's just a spectacular view from Union City up there on the bluff, on the cliff. Well, I came up on a three-way intersection. Straight ahead was residential, and I don't know which way. To this day, I don't know which way I was supposed to turn, but I turned right, which was a total big time mistake. Next thing you know, I'm in this 200-year-old residential neighborhood, and I mean the houses are 200 years old, and the cop even told me, it was 200-year-old neighborhood, and real nice. But the houses are right on top of each other. There's like another overlook of the Hudson to my right, and I can't. I get in such a jam. I can't, and I've got traffic behind me. It's New York, New Jersey, and I get in a situation where there's cars parked on the side of the street, low telephone lines everywhere, and I can't get through the street because the cars are parked everywhere, and I've got traffic behind me. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was about to quit right there and find a way home. I mean, you've been in those jams, drivers, you know what I mean. Sometimes you're just like in an impossible situation. You're like, oh my God, I'm going home. Screw this. It don't pay enough for the crap I'm having to put up with. Well, before I even called the law to get some help, somebody else done called the law. So here comes Jersey City deputy. I wish I knew his name, because I give cops a lot of grief, because, in the last I used to have a lot of respect for cops, but in the last 3 years, I, I have been violated in so many ways, financially, by frivolous tickets, like Virginia trooper giving me a $130 ticket for turning in the front of the Loves at Bowling Green, Virginia. It's the only truck stop I've ever seen that you can't turn in the front of, and a $130 ticket for turning into private friggin' property. They want you to go down to the light and turn around and turn right and come in the back of the truck stop. And it's at night time, so you can hardly see the sign that says that. And I've never been to this truck stop. So $130 ticket for turning the wrong way in a truck stop. And then a $1,460 ticket from the Diesel Bears over the river here in Statesville, North Carolina, for forgetting to put my pusher axle down on my dump truck one day. And they wrote it to Maymead, the company I was working for. But what they don't know, or maybe they do, Maymead does all the asphalt for the state in the western part of North Carolina. So the way they were looking at it by writing it to Maymead's been in existence since 1746. It's older than America. It started as a farm in Tennessee. And the way they look at it, they're getting a rebate, on their asphalt. Well, what they don't know is Maymead, and I'm sure it's illegal because Maymead, their ticket was written to them. But Maymead, I'm making $12 an hour. Maymead's a very rich family, and they make, and I knew if I didn't sign the paper, they would just fire me. So they let me keep my job, but they make me sign a paper. They're going to take that $1,460 overweight ticket out of my check, $50 a week. That's just great, way to treat your hardworking drivers, Maymead. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, and then I had another cop, Captain Larry Barger, Catawba, North Carolina PD, get me on some unconstitutional gun charges that I didn't even do. And so Catawba County Sheriff's Department's had my pistol over a year now, longer than I have. And on a bunch of BS. But I might talk about that in a different video. Anyway, so I have a bad taste in my mouth for cops in general right now. But when they do right, when they do a good job, when they're nice and they're helpful and they're not an asshole. I don't know how else to say it. When they do a good job, I'll praise them. And this little Hispanic cop, I wish I knew his name, in Union City, New Jersey, was like an angel sent by God to me that day. Because he, you know, he was real cool. He wasn't mad because a lot of cops would come up and just ream you a new one, and act like you stupid trucker. You know how they treat us, and they couldn't eat without us. They would have nothing, including their gun, their car, their uniform, their ticket book. They would have absolutely nothing. Their kids' diapers, their food, their wives' lingerie, nothing without truckers. Nothing. Uh, so cops, they treat us like trash, although they can't live without us any more than we can live without them. But this one was really cool. Young Hispanic cop, and just he was laid back and didn't give me a hard time. And he actually ran the tags of the cars that were in my way. And one of them was a mighty fine looking teacher, but boy, she looked pissed off because he had to get her out of school to come move her car so I could get through. And he gave me a police escort, lights going, and he had to call and somebody else and get them to move. And while I'm sitting there waiting on her to come move her car, I'm watching this big yacht go down the Hudson. I'm like, wow, this place is incredible, but I really shouldn't be here with a 53-foot trailer. And so he got this older lady come move her car. Then he gave me a police escort. I felt like the president, y'all. I've never, ever had a police escort before. And he gave me a police escort on out of Jersey City. Get this now. Union City, New Jersey, into New York State. So at some point, New York crosses over the Hudson. If you keep going north, because like up in Albany and on up there, New York is on both sides of the Hudson. So at some point from Jersey City, you go back into New York, even though you don't cross the Hudson. Like, New York City is over here across the Hudson to the east. Well, if you keep going north from Union City, you still run into New York. So dude actually takes me, he's a Union City cop. He takes me out of New Jersey, lights still going, into New York and back into New Jersey to the New Jersey Turnpike. And he told me, he said, my commander wanted me to write you up. He said, I saw you have North Carolina on your trailer. He said, I know you're lost and you didn't mean to be in that neighborhood on purpose. And, God bless him. God bless the good cops who are not buttholes. And I know a lot of retired cops, and I'll just give a shout out to Chief Gerald Tolbert, Claremont PD, Richard Little, who was in the Catawba County Sheriff's Department. Let's see, I can think of some more. Jeff Williams, who's retired North Carolina Highway Patrolman. These guys, I just know from being their friend what kind of men they are. They're salt of the earth, good guys, and I know in my heart they would have been good cops too when they were law enforcement. Another one, oh shoot, he goes to my church, but his name just slipped my mind. David Pruitt. He was in Claremont PD. Now he is like a bailiff at the Alexander County Jail in Taylorsville. Great guy, good Christian men, And I wish all of our cops were good Christian men. But anyway, that was my trucker tale for today. A residential neighborhood in Union City, New Jersey. You might as well say a residential neighborhood in Manhattan, because the only thing in between Union City and Manhattan is a cliff and the Hudson River. If y'all like my trucker tales, like, subscribe, and share. Keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down. God bless y'all, and have a great day. Keep on the straight and narrow, physically and spiritually speaking. Amen. Bye. Peace.